Welcome to a very special edition of Gary's Graveyard Gramblings. So why is it a special edition? Well, it's a special edition because it's coming today from two special locations. The first is a new location, a new one, in this little neighbouring village of Benenden in Kent. And the second one is from Highgate Village. Highgate Village, yes, it is Highgate Village actually. Highgate Cemetery in that London. And we have a special guest on the Gramblings today. From Hollywood and from Louisiana in the US of A, we have a special guest. And I shall be introducing him very shortly. But first of all, I have to angle the camera and find myself a suitable location to rest my weary soul, which is something, of course, that one must do in a place like this. There are plenty of restful souls. As ever with the Gramblings, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be talking about. This seems like a rather nice location. And hello. I should be introducing you to our Hollywood star just very shortly. But I wanted to explain why, on this particular occasion, we're splitting the location. And that's because the original shoot location of Highgate Cemetery, the West Cemetery, was so creepy and so ghost-filled and possibly vampire-filled that Keith and I, Keith is the Hollywood star I'm just going to introduce you to in a minute, we came off the tour, which lasted for 75, nearly 80 minutes of our lives, and we both felt strangely depleted. So we tried to do a Graveyard Gramblings from Highgate Cemetery, and quite frankly, it was crapology. It wasn't one of our best ones. So we didn't want to waste the footage. So we're going to reuse the footage, and I'm going to intersperse it with the scenes from this beautiful graveyard that we're in today. And I think without further ado, I am going to introduce you to, he's standing next to me in a state of readiness, to Hollywood star, Mr. Keith Flippen.
Hello, everybody. I give you one of these as well.
This is Mr. Keith. I have no idea of whether we're in frame or not, Keith, but it doesn't really matter. Now, to our viewer, because we have, I think there might be two viewers today. The other two will be at bingo, I think. So if they ask themselves, from whence, from where do I know this face? This happy face.
This happy face. We happy few. Dynasty, the final season of Dynasty, the most recent incarnation, She-Hulk. American Rust. Don't snicker.
I'm not. I'm just wondering how long it's going to be before you do a Sharknado movie.
Sharknado is no comment. The Wire, Minority Report, Matlock. Depends on how far back you want to go.
I'll let you into a little secret that we do read each other's books, we do look at each other's videos, and Keith does a fantastic video blog. Keith does a professional one, unlike me, and which we'll tell you about in a minute. We may even be flashing it along the bottom. Do you want to mention the name while we...
Sure, it's The Superfluous Adventurer. So,
do watch.
Yeah.
It's great.
Stories.
Watch how a real one's done, and then come back to this, and it'll hammer the message home. But what was I saying, for Christ's sake? Oh, yeah, you were talking about Dynasty, which of course we call Dynasty. And I did say to you, didn't I, that I would tell a Joan story.
Oh, please tell a Joan story.
Well, it's not really a story. It's just that I like using GIFs of Joan Collins. But apparently then somebody tweeted me and said that she doesn't like it and she would either sue or take people to task for using unauthorised images. And in fact, actually, I think there's a hashtag, Unauthorised Joan, which people put. So I have to ask you, did you work with Joan on that one?
I did not. She was not on the episode, no. No, but we did have a Joan Collins style fight in our episode over a candlestick.
No idea how all of this got here. I certainly wouldn't touch it. And neither should you. That candelabra is very delicate.
Yes, I know. It was my grandmother's.
I just don't want you to break it, all right? Please.
Get your hands off of me!
Just kick me?
Ow! Calm down! Everyone calm down!
you say to my face, you viper?
A lot of kicking and a lot of name calling. It was grand.
That's a stopper.
Yeah.
A fight. I think people would probably pay good money to see a fight with Joan Collins and a candlestick.
Oh, yeah.
Although in some of the earlier movies she's done, that probably happened already.
I think so.
So, but we talked, as you know, we did do some footage, didn't we?
At
in
Highgate.
Highgate Cemetery, but it just it was so weird, wasn't it?
Well, it's solemn, and it's also full of vampires. That kind of puts you off. Well, the stories are full of vampires, not the. Well, you don't know, do you?
Well, we were in the catacomb, actually, at Highgate Cemetery West, and the guy that was doing the tour said to us, told us the story of the Highgate vampire. Was it? With red eyes.
Red eyes, 7 foot tall, and a top hat.
And people breaking into the catacombs to put stakes through the heart of the long buried, which seems a bit weird, doesn't it?
But isn't everything that people do?
Now, as it happens, you will probably now be looking at some footage, which we're going to put over, of my favourite grave in Highgate Cemetery, which is the one which has 3 glass skylights in. And when I first went there many, many years ago, those skylights were see-through, and you could see the table and chairs and furnishings that the family put inside the crypt. And then they would go down there, as the Victorians tended to do, and have Sunday lunch down there or a picnic with the dearly departed. And I was told by a tour guide on this many, many years ago, which I subsequently have found out is utter bollocks, that it was Bram Stoker walking past that particular grave that looked down and saw people having a meal and having a fun time down there, which gave him the idea. Is it him?
Him.
Gave him the. I like to be inclusive. It gave him the idea of writing the Dracula stories, and that's where the vampire thing came from. And I raised this with a subsequent tour guide and told him about it, and he said, "Oh, you don't want to listen to anything he says. That was a load of old rubbish."
Oh, but what if that tour guide was a vampire? That he would plausibly deny these things. I'm just saying.
Just putting it out there.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
Conspiracy theory number 1 on a graveyard gambling. So we did have a fun time there, though, didn't we? I think in the end it was a fascinating thing to see. You don't think?
It was. No, I think it was great. I think the sculpture and the history and all of the dead.
And there was a lot of mould and spiders in there
And
too.
lichen.
And lichen.
Right, the spiders.
The spiders. Yes, the spiders. There is a unique species of spider apparently in there. The female of which bites off. No, was it that bites off the leg of the male, and then, or does the male bite his own leg off and then
he bites his own leg off as a sort of an amuse-bouche to his love interest.
Yes, people from Maidstone do that, actually. Well, anyway, that was the story of Highgate Cemetery. You'll never get to see. It's going to be lost footage. It's going to end up on the cutting room floor, like many an actress I've worked with in the past, though not for the same reasons. So you'll never get to see that. Instead, you'll see a more professional, a more interesting, one likes to think. Have you enjoyed your week? With us
you guys have been fantastic. This has been a beautiful week. I've learned more about what life is like in the south of England, possibly more than I wanted to learn. No, it's been fantastic. You've fed me and you've taken me some fantastic places. This has been a delight.
Well, I'm pleased you've enjoyed it. I'm pleased you've enjoyed seeing it. And I did promise, of course, never to take him to Maidstone or the Isle of Sheppey. And that I kept my promise, which is good. Now, we'll be back to normal on the next Graveyard Grambling. In the meantime, please do watch Keith's Superfluous Adventure. Now, I think you're going to shoot one while you're over here as well.
I am. In fact, we're going to do that in a moment.
We're going to do that in a moment. And Keith sings and plays the guitar. There's a professional band. It's edited beautifully. So if you want to see how it's really done, go and watch that.
Yeah, it's full of that.
Fang.
It's
full of that fang. Oh, by the way, I've been practicing my American accent. How have I been coming along?
I don't know. Let's hear it again.
Well, hi there, Keith. How's it going, partner?
That sounds like a cartoon dog I once watched.
Deputy Dog.
A little bit like Deputy Dog.
Deputy Dog. Okay. Well, I can't. Unfortunately, as an actor, when I do American, I always default to Kenneth Williams in Carry On Cowboy. Will that do?
Yeah.
Would your agent buy that?
My agent would buy that.
Would Joan Collins buy that?
I don't think
Part
so.
in Dynasty?
No, I don't think she would. She'd throw a candlestick at you.
Shit. Anyway, I will say goodbye now. And in my usual fashion, do you want to think of an appropriate American version of my sign-off? So I'll do my sign-off, you do yours.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
And action! Salute!
Ta-ta! I don't know.
You look so horsed here.
What do you need from me?